Newly declassified FBI documents revealing that disgraced former Democrat Congressman Eric Swalwell admitted to having sexual relations with the suspected Chinese spy who is known as Fang Fang.
Todd Piro joins us now with the details. Todd.
Good morning to all three of you. Here is what we know. Swalwell admitted to FBI agents that he had, quote, physical relations with suspected Chinese intel operative Christine Fang on a, quote, handful of occasions. The FBI report saying, quote, Swalwell had a drink with Fang a couple of weeks after they first met in 2012. He had physical relations with Fang on a handful of occasions, but never dated her or had a romantic relationship. Swalwell considered their physical relations to be casual, but believed that Fang was interested in a closer romantic relationship. The newly declassified records, which were released yesterday, detail two FBI interviews with Swalwell, which were conducted in 2015 and 2016. They were part of an investigation examining Fang's alleged involvement with illicit campaign contributions and funneling interns to Swalwell's office. He told investigators that their last encounter was in 2015, which is 2 years after the former lawmaker joined Congress. Fang is believed to be an operative for the Chinese Communist Party's Ministry of State Security and reportedly helped organize fundraisers for Swalwell in Las Vegas and in California. The FBI claims she used conduits to conceal herself as a prohibited foreign national source and orchestrated contributions to Swalwell's campaigns. Swalwell was removed as a subject in the Bureau's investigation in 2017. Fox News Digital reached out to Swalwell and his attorneys for comment, but did not receive a response. All of this unfolding months after Swalwell resigned from Congress and dropped his run for California governor after unrelated allegations of rape and sexual assault emerged. Back over to you.
Wow,
Right,
we knew there was more to that story. How unbelievable is it the FBI says, hey, I've identified this person be a great person to see if I could flip them and be a double agent. And, you know, they're from China. We think they had relations with the Chinese Ministry of State Security. And the FBI said, let's target her. She works for Swalwell, the congressman. And then it turns out when they start looking into her background, that's when they discover that they're having a physical relationship.
So the question is, what information did he give her? I want to know. I mean, she wasn't there for romance. She had a job to do for a foreign government.
Yeah, and he would joke around and say, oh, she works for the Chinese government, and people thought he was joking. 2 years later, he tells the FBI he is sleeping with her when they try to recruit her as a double agent. What's raising eyebrows in the FBI and around the country is his position. He was serving on the House Permanent Select Committee on Intelligence, and he's allegedly or admitting to sleeping with a spy?
Yeah. There's no way he should have been on that intelligence committee.
But then remember when he denied it, when he was asked on another network? Watch this.
Did you have any concerns about this person before you had what's known as a defensive briefing from the FBI to make you aware of this threat?
No, Jim, I was shocked when, just over 6 years ago, I was told about this individual. And then I offered to help, as the story says that, there was never a suspicion of wrongdoing on my part.
Yeah, he just straight up lied. And I wonder what his pal Gallego, the senator who was hanging around with, that is from Arizona, has to say about this. Yeah. Seems like he's been involved with some scandals as well. So they were buddies. Did he know about Fang Fang, and what did he know?
Birds of a feather.
Yeah. Kevin McCarthy kicked him off the all committee, his committee, the Intelligence Committee, when it was reported in Axios about this relationship. He said, of course, you're out. You're done. And they said, oh, it's pure politics. No, it wasn't pure politics. Yeah. So now, evidently, as he was running for governor, the FBI says, we really should make this public to find out what kind of person you are and the kind of contacts you have. So Fang Fang has been kicked out of the country, can't come back. And that she had set up straw supporters, I guess, contributors to his campaign. So, for example, you have foreigners contribute to his campaign, but she would just attribute it to somebody else in America. Yeah. So you had foreigners contributing to Eric Swalwell's hope for governor, and who knows who would have been contributing to his run for governor.
Now, this is one of the main people talking about Russian collusion.
Right.
They're
All over
literally
Trump.
sleeping with a Chinese spy. This is crazy stuff, these people. It's like the golf. Is there no shame? They go on TV, they give these big speeches. He was the impeachment manager against the president, and meanwhile, he's doing this dirty business.
Yeah, he says, well, I didn't really remember it in the beginning because I was on Ambien.
Yeah, he
Okay.
said there was an Ambien-induced night when they slept together.
Yep, that's one way to say it. I was going to say physical relationship.
Yeah.
We're all
Well,
good.
I was trying not to
she
use
just
the
gotta
three-letter
cut
word
to the
because
chase.
there are kids that are in
Right.
the kitchen right now,
That's true.
so trying to be careful.
Exactly.
Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest on YouTube and catch full shows streaming now on Fox One.